Okay, get this. Back in 1794, a book was published with a title that sounds like it was pulled straight from a fantasy novel, Ahiman Rezon. But this is no work of fiction. Nope. It's a very real artifact from a pivotal moment in history. And wow, does it have a story to tell. So, yeah, the first and most obvious question is, what on earth is an Ahiman Rezon? The name itself is just strange, maybe a little intimidating, and it gives you zero clues. And that's exactly why we're going to pull it apart in this explainer. And this isn't just some idea. It's a physical book, printed and bound over 200 years ago. The craftsmanship, just in the decorative lettering, it immediately transports you to another time, an era when a document like this was a pretty significant and valuable object. To solve this puzzle, let's start with that name. Because to understand where this book came from, we first need to understand the world that made it. So let's put ourselves back in 1794. This is a brand new United States. The revolution is still a very recent memory, and the U.S. Constitution, well, it's only been ratified for 5 years. This was an age that was absolutely obsessed with foundational documents, with writing down the rules for how a whole new society should work. And bam! Right in the middle of all of that, this book appears. The people who created the Ahiman Rezon were a really prominent group at the time, the Freemasons. Now, that's a name that, let's be honest, often comes with its own cloud of mystery and speculation. So, who were the Freemasons? Well, for our purposes, what you really need to know is that Freemasonry is an old fraternal organization. Its members focus on moral philosophy, on self-improvement, and they're organized into local chapters called lodges. And yes, they are famously associated with secrets and private rituals. This brings us right to the central puzzle of this whole thing. If the Freemasons are a society built around secrets, why would they publish a book? Printing something is about the most public act there is. It feels like a total contradiction, and it's the key to understanding what this document really is. The answer to that puzzle is that the book wasn't about revealing secrets at all. It was about establishing rules. What's really interesting here is, well, it's a blank page from the original document. If you were hunting for conspiracies, this might be a little disappointing, but it perfectly illustrates the point. The value of this book isn't in some hidden mystical text. The secret is that there is no secret, at least not in the way we usually think about it. The Ahiman Rezon belongs to a type of text called a Book of Constitutions, and this is really just a formal term for a document that lays out the entire framework of an organization, its laws, its structure, its procedures. It's a blueprint. So the crucial point is this. The Ahiman Rezon wasn't a book of secrets. It was the official rulebook for the Freemasons. It was their constitution, and it was published so every member and every lodge would know exactly how they were supposed to operate. So what was actually inside? Not some weird esoteric knowledge, but really practical organizational information. It detailed the proper procedures for starting a new lodge. It laid out the specific duties for every officer, and it provided clear guidelines for the conduct expected of every single member. It's basically an instruction manual for building a community. This decorative piece from the book is such a great visual metaphor. Just like this artwork has balance and structure and order, the Ahiman Rezon was designed to bring that exact same sense of order and structure to the entire Masonic fraternity. So let's talk about the true power of a document like this. It's about more than just a list of rules. It's about what those rules make possible. Let's just put it side by side. The popular myth sees a book of hidden rituals and conspiracies, but the historical reality is, in a lot of ways, way more interesting. It's a practical manual for how to build an organization that lasts, how to grow, and how to stay stable over time. So why should we care about this old rulebook? Well, first, it shows that even a so-called secret society needs transparency and clear rules to function. The secrets were for the rituals, not for the governance. Second, it perfectly mirrors the spirit of its time, a new American nation that believed progress depended on writing down the rules. And finally, it's a timeless blueprint for how any group can create a lasting community. Ultimately, that's the core principle the Ahiman Rezon demonstrates so well. It doesn't matter if it's a nation, a company, or a small club. For any group to survive and grow, it needs a shared set of rules that everyone can see and agree on. And this leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The Freemasons of 1794 wrote their rules down. But it makes you wonder, right?
What are the unwritten rulebooks, the unspoken constitutions that govern our own communities, our workplaces, and even our relationships today?